And welcome everyone to this afternoon's Zoom session on instructional video production. This is something we do about once a year or so because it is not of interest to everyone, but I think we'll have something today that will be of use to just about anyone. But what I'm going to be focusing on today is the production of motion video. Video that you would take with a video camera, a webcam or something like that, as opposed to screencasting, where we record computer screens and talk over them. Screencasting generally is a more useful technique instructionally, but the production of motion video is useful in, of course, situations other than what you use screencasting for. It's great at providing engagement with students, particularly if you record yourself. They get to see you talking and interacting with them and so on, or interacting with the camera anyway, just as I'm doing now. And of course, you can video all sorts of other things with full motion video. You can take your smartphone out and you can take video anywhere. Record something that is germane to your subject area. If you're a biologist, you can go out and record plants, animals, natural phenomena, and so on. Anything that might be instructionally useful for your course. So it's a powerful tool as well, and a lot of fun. So we are going to look at some techniques, some simple and relatively inexpensive techniques and equipment that you can use to produce instructionally useful motion video for your courses. I'm going to be sharing my screen most of the day, so let me go ahead and start that. Taking care to click the option to share my computer sound in case we end up looking at some videos, which we will. And I'll go ahead and share that now, and you should be seeing my Windows desktop. Just a blue screen with a Windows logo on it. Please let me know at any time if if you have trouble hearing me. I'm gathering from the conversations early on that everyone's hearing me okay, but let me know if that's not the case. Also, if I start talking about something that you can't see, please let me know immediately. It may mean that I'm thinking I'm sharing my screen and I'm not. That has happened. So please don't hesitate to let me know about that. Let's start with just a quick look at the outline of what we're going to do today. Oh, and one other thing. With the chat tool, another thing you can do for me, if you wouldn't mind, is give me a roster for today. If you wouldn't mind just putting your name and your email address in the chat tool, just type it in, press enter. I would very much appreciate that. Thanks, Dwayne. And that'll give me a way to get back in touch with you in case we have questions today that we can't resolve during the meeting. So today we're going to focus on the type of video that you can capture with a camera of one sort or another. And we'll look at some different sorts of cameras that we can use for that, and some different techniques and software that will allow us to capture that and utilize it for instructional purposes, notably in Canvas. We'll start off with the video camera that most of you are carrying around in your pockets, or may even be fiddling with right now while you're attending this meeting. Your smartphone, of course, has a marvelous camera in it. Even relatively inexpensive smartphones today have cameras that are phenomenally good. And they are a wonderful tool for recording and sharing instructional video. We're going to look at three major ecosystems on that: the iPhone the iOS Apple ecosystem, Android, through a video. I don't have any native Android devices. It's not something I've ever used much, though I am considering switching to an Android smartphone given Apple's current pricing and so on. But I do have a good video that my colleague Katie Palacios used or created to show you that. And we'll look at the Kindle Fire ecosystem, which is an Amazon product, of course, and is much less expensive than either of the other two. Then we're going to look at Zoom as a video production tool. I mean, I'm producing instructional video right now, talking to you on Zoom. So we can leverage Zoom, which is available to all of us for free, as a video production tool, and quite a sophisticated one. Maybe beyond what we normally do in a standard Zoom meeting. So we're going to take a look at that. And then we're going to do some playing. The most fun part of the presentation today will be on the technique of Chroma Key or green screen technology, where you can replace a color, a background color, with either still images or video, either live in real time or in editing and post-production of the video. And we'll look a little bit at how to do that in Camtasia, probably the best video editor available at an instructional video kind of level, semi-professional level available today. All right, so let's get started with that. Let's start off talking about your smartphone. Well, we all know our smartphones are capable of shooting video. We'll show that process here in a minute with an iPhone live. One thing about the use of the smartphone in shooting video, however, is that it's often not an ideal video camera platform, simply because too often you're holding it in your hands. It's very hard to hold it steady. There are things you can do to alleviate that, and I have some of that, or a little video showing how to avoid those problems here, which I want to share with you. This is the last time, matter of fact, this video is from the last time I did this particular topic, which has been several years now. It's 2016. And I've got that, here it is. Jeez, I was just as fat then as I am now. I've got a little video excerpt to show you here. Let me full screen that so it's a little bit easier. And this was done, this is that session I did when I had a whole team of people helping me and so on. But this little section actually specifically talks about attaching your iPhone to a tripod, or your phone, not just your iPhone, or your tablet to a tripod.
It is brief and as concise as possible, but still 2 or 3 minutes is a long time to hold that phone steady.
Let me back that up a little.
Handheld while you're doing it, you know, and moving around and quivering and so on, especially if you're shooting for more than a few seconds. Now, generally with instructional video, you want to keep it as brief and as concise as possible, but still 2 or 3 minutes is a long time to hold that phone steady and not get your audience seasick. Well, there's a way around that. And Michael, if you can focus over here, I'm going to go right around Yolanda here.
Let me jump ahead here.
What happened there? Gremlins. one thing you have to have if you're going to do instructional media is patience with technology. Okay, so we've got a standard video tripod. Once again, I think I paid $25 for this on Amazon. It's not a great one, but it'll work. And on top of it, I have a little adapter. Can you zoom in on that, Mike? Yeah. $8 at Amazon. Again, they were feeling good that day. And it's just a little clamp.
You can still get it.
Stretches out, and you can take your smartphone and put it right in there. Oh, if you're Alrighty. Let me get my camera up now. Let's switch. Let's see. Mike, can you hit input 2 on the switcher? Okay. Should be seeing my back. Okay, now you don't want to see my back. Now can we see the
We were recording this with a series of video, actually a field video studio that you can see. You'll occasionally catch glimpses of there in the lower foreground. But today you can do much of this with Zoom itself. So, and in fact, we were broadcasting this, though we've been using Zoom for a while. We were broadcasting this to folks outside of the room at the time with Zoom. So every now and then you'll see another person pop up who's attending via Zoom.
We see it.
Ah, yes, there's the smartphone in the clamp. So I can hold it steady, hand tilt and zoom it, and get good solid video. You can also get tripods that will sit on a desktop. I don't have that out here. I must have taken that back in the office. I'll show you that in a little bit.
Later.
But tripods can range from, something about yay high to a full-size tripod like this, and none of them are, and you can get things that are very inexpensive that will work fine. So, as soon as you all know how to shoot a video on your smartphone, we'll see on this one, all I have to do is, this is an iPhone, so I just hit my camera, and there's my viewfinder. Just a note, you can, of course, do selfie videos as well by using your selfie camera. Ooh, geez, that was too close. But remember that the selfie camera is about half the quality of the back camera, the main camera, on any cell phone. So if you're shooting something other than yourself or somebody behind you, it's desirable to use the main camera. And there we are. It's focused on everybody. The image is just great, as you can sort of see from there. And now, all I have to do is set it on video. And away we go. All right, I need some performance out there. Okay, Pete.
Okay.
How are you doing today?
Have to get into camera view, right?
You're in it. You're in it. Remember,
All right. How about
oh, there you go.
I'm doing fine, Dave. Thank you. How are you doing?
Ah, great. It's great to have you here.
Glad
In a minute, when I'm sure everybody's made it here, I'm going to ask everybody to we'll wait till we get past this segment here. And then welcome. And there's Michael Timog. And I can hand tilt and zoom in and out with the smartphone. And if you want to, welcome. So we've got a little video now.
Could you use that adapter for something like a Steadicam?
Pardon?
The phone adapter, could you use something like that for a Steadicam?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's basically what it'll fit on any standard tripod mount. Tripod screw.
What did Emma was asking what that it's an adapter. What's it called that adapts the iPhone to the tripod?
Yeah, it's an smartphone tripod adapter.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, that's probably enough of that, but this also illustrates how you can blend a physical classroom and Zoom together in a video production and share your production with people anywhere and have them participate with you. It's it requires some careful handling, mainly of audio and so on. It doesn't require all the equipment that you see here. And it's a wonderful pedagogy, because even after we get back to being able to use our physical classrooms, we can still extend the walls of those classrooms out as much as we like by starting a Zoom meeting when we begin our lectures, and then working with the, having people attending from wherever they happen to be at a given time. It's a marvelous technique. But that, I was just mainly showing the possibility for a better mounting of your phone, which makes a huge difference in the quality of your video production if you're using your smartphone as a camera. If you can put it on a tripod, either a full-size one like you saw here, or a little desktop tripod like, let's see, let me kill my share for a second here. Like, let's see if I can get this around here. It's on a leash, so maybe a little one like that. You can put, you can get phones mounted on that too. That's a webcam mounted on that one. But those little tripods usually cost $10 or $15, something like that. So that eliminates one of the major problems with using your smartphone as a camera, being able to hold it, or having to hold it and shoot handheld. Now let's talk about the process of recording and sharing video on smartphones. To do that, we'll do that live with an iPhone here. I'll do that by utilizing another video technology that's especially useful with Zoom, a so-called USB document camera. And oops, I did promise here, and when I share my screen again, I'm going to show you where to find the recording of this session and others before I move on. You can find that on the same site I was playing this previous recording from, indeed from the same general area. This is our on-demand video tutorial site at the district. It is accessed at sdccdolvid.org. I'm going to put that in the chat tool, the live link, so you can bookmark it if you wish. There it is. And remember, you can save that chat log at any time or as often as you like by clicking on the little menu button in the lower right-hand corner of the chat window. It's 3 dots in a row, an ellipsis. And if you click on that button, you'll get an option to save the chat log. It will save into a folder called Zoom that's automatically created in your default document directory on the PC or the Mac. And can I share the recording of today's session? I absolutely will. As soon as once it's finished, I'll put it up online, and it will be in the workshop archives. There's a menu at the top of the screen that shows up on every page in this site, and there's an option in that menu labeled workshop archives, and that's where all of my recorded Zoom seminars go. We have, what, we're up to 6 pages worth of them, going all the way back to the one that I showed you a little clip of a minute ago and beyond. So we've been putting them there for years. So you'll always be able to get that. Now, back to using the recording video with your smartphone. I'm going to show you how I do this using a device called a USB document camera, which is another very handy, very powerful video production tool, and works especially well with Zoom, though it can be used with other techniques as well. And it's a very simple little camera. It plugs in. It's basically a webcam that's optimized to show either still objects like a book or a piece of paper, a document, or three-dimensional objects that aren't doing a lot of moving around. It's not great. They're not great for motion video, but they are good for showing static shots of things, and they'll tolerate a certain amount of motion as well. And it allows you to do things like show people what you're doing on your smartphone, for instance, which is what I'm going to use it for today. I am sharing here. We made it up to 20 folks. That's pretty cool for this one. Let me just take a quick look here and see. Cool. Okay, sorry about that. Indulging my curiosity. I'm going to use a piece of software that comes with the smartphone, or with the document camera. My document camera was made by a company called IPEVO, I-P-E-V-O, and it comes with a piece of software, or I can use a piece of software that I can download for it, that will show me, does that every now and then, will show me what the camera is seeing and allow me to see it on my computer screen. And since I'm sharing my computer screen with you in Zoom, you see what I see, which is what the camera sees. Right now it's showing you my iPhone upside down. It's all right, I can fix that. I can have to adjust the camera a little bit to get it more or less straight, move the iPhone around, but everything is upside down because the cameras have a fairly simple lens. They're not very sophisticated. They can't erect the image and so on. So we do that in software with this particular camera by going to this little tool right here, rotate and mirror. And I just twirl that around, and now the phone is right side up. I need to, let's see, I need to focus the camera as well. There's a little button on the camera that will do that for me. I can do that in software too, but it's generally safer with this camera to do it on the camera. It's picking up something there. Like, all right. And I can zoom in a bit. Got a zoom tool for that, so you can see it a little better. It's still a little fuzzy. Let's see if we can fix that. Try the software. That's better. All right, now, of course, my phone's turned off. I need to bring that up. This camera does not have the resolution of the newer ones that you can get. This one's about 7 or 8 years old. I've had it for a long time. It still works fine. Let me see if I can crank up my resolution to the best level. This one will do. Then I'll have to focus again. That's a bit better. And I can make this easier for you to see by expanding this window some, by dragging the corners to make it bigger so it's easier to see. If you're having any trouble seeing any of this, there's a button at the top of the window where you're seeing my screen share that says View Options. And that window, or that, if you click on that button, it'll open up a little menu that has some, and this is for those of you on a computer, that you'll see some options to magnify this a bit, or to make it fit the window fully so that you see everything that I'm doing. You, on a mobile device, a smartphone or a tablet, you can pinch zoom in. You can put your thumb and forefinger on the screen and spread them apart, and that will zoom the zoom in on what I'm showing you. And then you can take your finger and you can move the window, the virtual window that you're looking through, around to see different parts of the screen share as I'm talking about different things. So here we have an iPhone, fairly standard. I'll show you a video on how to do this on an Android phone in a minute. So if we want to take a video on this phone, of course, we use the camera app, which is right here on the home screen. Be the same on an Android phone. And I'm going to want a video, so I'll select that. And right now it's just showing black because the default is to use the rear camera, the main camera on the phone, when you're taking pictures or shooting video. And in this case, since the phone is lying on the table, that's not a good option. So I can always use the selfie camera, the front camera, or front-facing camera. And this little tool, a little button right here will switch me between the two cameras. So now you can see the camera looking down at my document camera looking down at you. That's what the document camera looks like from the business end. We've talked about this document camera in a number of sessions, but if you have questions about that, how you might get one, things like that, what they cost, I'll be happy to entertain those. I don't want to bore you. You already heard that. So we're ready to take a video. In order for me to do this and you to see it at the same time, I'm going to have to be a little flexible here. Not as easy as it was a few years ago. Well, I'm going to move over here and I'm going to kind of pick up the phone and try to keep it at an angle where it can see me and yet you can still see what's going on the phone. And everything's backwards with a simple lens. So now if I scoot a little forward here, forgive me for the somewhat frightening aspect of this. Hard to believe anything that ugly is still alive. All right, all I have to do to take a video is punch that button. And now we're recording. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our session on instructional video production today. This is a demonstration video recorded on an iPhone, a smartphone, using the native camera app that comes with the phone. We're going to record this video and then we're going to upload it to YouTube and see how we can share it with our students. Not that our students would be particularly interested in this. All righty, so now I can stop the video by just tapping the button here at the bottom of the screen again. And the video's stopped. Now we can lay it back down. And we can see what to do next. I can go to the video to make sure that it's okay. Just tap on the link to it there and see if it recorded. And now we're recording. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our set. That seems fine. So I'm done with the camera app on the iPhone. I'm going to go ahead and get out of that. And now the question becomes, how do we share that with our students? That turns out to be almost as easy as recording the video in the first place was. And we can do it right from the phone. We don't even have to transfer the video somewhere and mess with it. On the iPhone, I would just go to the YouTube app, which is free. It comes on the phone, as a matter of fact. You can't find an iPhone without one. Tap on that and open up YouTube, the YouTube app. In order to actually put a video up onto YouTube, you of course have to have a YouTube account, and you have to be logged into that account on the phone. As I am, because you can see my little picture up here in the upper right-hand corner. Let's refocus. Let's touch up that focus a little bit. When I start, this camera is set to autofocus, and when I stick my finger under there and so on, it messes up the focus a little bit sometimes. The chances are you already have a Google account or a YouTube account, because if you have a Google account, you have a YouTube account. YouTube's owned by Google, and if you use Gmail for your personal email, or if you use Google Docs or Google Drive to store files or to create documents, you already have a Google account. Should you not have a Google account, let me drop this down just for a second, you can go to accounts.google.com on the web. And of course, it knows who I am, so it flips up my picture and so on that I've uploaded. This is where you can upload that picture, as a matter of fact. But if you don't have a Google account and you go to this site, it will prompt you to first it will prompt you to log in if you're not already logged into your Google account on your computer. If you don't have a Google account, there'll be an option to create one. And all you need to create one is a smartphone or an email account and indeed an email account. You'll need an email address to serve as your username for Google, and you'll need your email account or your smartphone to receive a code from Google, either by text or by email, that you can then give back to Google to prove that you're not a robot, and then they'll make you an account, and you're ready to go. And that account will give you creator access to YouTube, that is, allow you to put videos onto YouTube. On the smartphone here, going back to that, if I were not logged in, I would have already logged in, I would have a prompt when I open the YouTube. Come on. That software is a little cranky, the IPvo software. When you minimize it and come back into it and then try to focus, for whatever reason, I can't imagine, sometimes it will just crash and then you have to set it up again, which is why I should have used the button on the camera itself to do the focusing. Oh well. All right, I'll have to rotate it again. Doesn't hurt to see that twice anyway. And then zoom in a little bit. Very simple operation. So you can see this a little better. Now, if you weren't logged in, you'd be prompted to sign in. And of course, if you didn't have an account, you'd be prompted to create one. Now, to actually upload a video to YouTube from an iPhone, you use the YouTube account and you use this little icon right here, which is a little hard to see. I can zoom in a little closer. This icon right here, with the new cameras, this would be sharper. But this little icon right here is a stylized camera. It just looks like a little camera. It's small enough, it's hard to tell, but that's what it is. And that's your upload button, your create button in YouTube. You just tap on that. And let me zoom out again. you're given an option. Actually, you're given an option to record. You could record the video in here. I think it works a little better using the phone's native camera app to do the recording, but I could be wrong. You could actually broadcast live on YouTube. We don't want to do that today. But here's the video. YouTube also shows you the last few videos you've created. And with the smartphone. And this is the one we just made a few minutes ago. So I can tap to upload that video or to look at it, I can tap on it. And now we're recording. Good afternoon. And it came over fine. The video has sound and video. I mean, the subject matter is another thing, but technically it worked. And now, once I ascertain that the video is okay, and I can do some limited trimming on it and so on here as well if I want to, down at the bottom here. I have some capabilities like that right here, but we're not going to worry about that right now. The vast majority of the time, you'll just upload the video as is to YouTube. There's a next button in the upper right-hand corner here. And I just tap that once I'm sure that the video did record properly. We get a little more information about the video. Among other things, we can choose the privacy setting for the video on YouTube. The options are public, unlimited, or unlisted, excuse me, and private. You don't ever want to use private unless you're putting your baby videos on there, because that's very restrictive. Setting it up is tedious, and you can't share it with very many people that way. For instructional videos, you'll always want public or unlisted. Public means not only can anybody play the video, but they can search for it and find it. It might pop up on their screen as a suggested video at some point. Unlisted means you can share it with your students and they can play it without having to log into YouTube. But you have to provide the link to the video to them, the URL. The link URL for the video, or a link, the video link that YouTube will provide to you here in a minute. So probably unlisted is used more than anything else, though certainly if you have created a video that you think may be of some general public interest, it might help some people, and that doesn't include any sort of confidential information like the names of your students who are enrolled in your class. That's protected information under FERPA. So if you make a Zoom recording that has your students' names in it as they speak or in gallery view or whatever, you don't want to make that video public to protect student privacy. You can, however, make it unlisted, and only the people to whom you give the URL will be able to view the video. And presumably you won't be posting that URL on a public resource like Facebook or Twitter or something like that. You'll rather probably post it in Canvas or send it to students in an email so that the communication is secure and private. Well, reasonably secure. Email is only reasonably secure, but certainly not available to the general public. So unlisted is probably the option we want here. So we select that. And we'll find in the upper right-hand corner here a button to upload the video in blue. It's low contrast. It's not real accessible here, but it is visible. So to upload the video, we just tap that. Assuming we're, at this point, if we weren't logged into YouTube, it would force us to do so. So the video is now uploading right from the phone. I don't have to put it on the computer and upload it or anything like that. It uploads right from the phone, and of course it's a very short video, so it'll only take a moment. There it is. It picked up the, the title of our Zoom meeting here. That's interesting. I'm not quite sure how it did that. Oh, I didn't think that worked. It looks like this is being broadcast. This session is being broadcast live on YouTube. I didn't think that worked. At least YouTube thinks it is. Okay, so once you see the thumbnail for the video here, it's on YouTube. And you can continue with the phone, but let's take a look at YouTube, indeed, and see. Let me pull up, go to YouTube. I am logged in to YouTube here. I know that because I can see myself up here in the upper right-hand corner. If I weren't, let me log out here and show what that looks like. Yeah. Google gets very sticky when you want to log out for a minute. Okay, I am, if I'm not logged in when I go to YouTube, I'll be prompted to sign in. Of course, you can watch YouTube videos without having to sign in, but if you're going to upload videos to YouTube or manage videos that you've already uploaded, you have to be signed in as yourself so you have access to your so-called YouTube channel. Just a container for your videos that's created automatically the first time you upload a video to YouTube. You'll be prompted to create it. So I just sign in, and this computer already knows everything there is to know about me, so it knows what my login name for Google is, which is my Gmail account. Have to type in my password, and now YouTube knows who I am. And it will let me access my videos and or upload new ones if I have them on my computer using that same button, the little camera button that we saw on the app on the smartphone. If I click over my avatar image there, and if you haven't uploaded a profile picture in your Google account, you'll just see a little silhouette here, but it'll work just fine. And I'll go to what's called YouTube Studio. Which is my video management tool in YouTube for my own videos that I've uploaded by whatever means. And I get a dashboard for my channel. And on the left here, I have some links that I can go to. And one of those is a list of all my videos that I have on, or the first few videos I have on my channel. And there's the one at the top that we just uploaded. I can click on that and get information I need about this video, go to the so-called video details page for it. And the most important bit of information right here probably is the link, the video link. This is what I need to share with my students in order to share that video that I just made on my smartphone with them. And remember, this video could be anything that was germane to your subject matter in your course. You could take your phone out with you and make video recordings of wildlife or of a sporting event in progress, or if you were doing a PE course of some sort, you could video a fencing match or something. You could go to a place of historical interest and give your students a virtual tour through it. Really limited only by your own imagination, because you have that wonderful video production tool in your pocket most of the time. Even flip phones have video capability these days, and there are ways to get that video off and onto YouTube. They're not as simple as the smartphones, but you can do it. So the video is now on YouTube and ready to share. We can click on the button that says play this in YouTube. We go to and now we're recording. We can go and we can play the video on YouTube to ensure that it came up okay and that it's visible and audible. We don't have captions on this video yet, but but we will have them shortly. All videos that are uploaded to YouTube, or 98+% of them anyway, will have captions within a few minutes to an hour or two, depending on the length of the video. Captions automatically produced by YouTube with a technology that meets Clarke's first law, which says that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. It happens through magic. And the captions will be available within a few minutes. You don't have to worry about that on YouTube. You can edit the captions for accuracy. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing that today. We did that we showed that in the session yesterday, for one thing. But we have lots of tutorials on how to do that, but it's really a simple process. And indeed, often the captions don't need any editing. They're so good. The video is ready to share. You can put that link that we saw. I can always get that link from the video page as well by clicking on the share button below and to the right of the video. And there it is, and I can copy it to my clipboard. Or better yet, I can copy what's called the embed code. Whoop. That back again. Click on the embed link, and I get this piece of HTML code that I don't have to understand at all. I just have to copy to my clipboard. Then I can go to Canvas. Let's find the Canvas here. Surely I have Canvas up somewhere. I guess not. Well, that was poor planning on my part. Let me do that. And log into Canvas with my administrator account. And I'll just go to a sandbox course I can mess with here. And I'll just find a module. I made this module in this course for demonstrating how to put, among other things, putting YouTube videos into Canvas or linking them to Canvas. To put a link to, or put access to a video into a Canvas page, which is the cleanest way to do this, I go to the plus sign, the add item plus sign for the module, and select the Canvas page and make a new page. Canvas page is being a web page that you create on Canvas. Click that new page button and click add item. Oops, I do have to give it a name. YouTube video link. Let's do that. I do this often enough. I better date this 5/5/2020 so that I can identify it. Then add the item. There's the blank page that I've just created, blank web page or Canvas page. I click on that link. I edit the page to put something in it, and I just use the Insert Edit Media tool in the Rich Content Editor that pops up. It's the second tool from the left in the second row of the control menus for the Rich Content Editor, and it labeled Insert Edit Media when you mouse over it. You click that tool, you select the Embed tab in that tool, and you just paste that embed code that you got from YouTube into here and click OK. And boom, there's a link to that video. And save this, publish it, and it's shared with your students. If the student comes into the module or into your course, goes to the modules, clicks on this link, they'll see that video, they can play it from here.
And now we're recording.
They can full screen it.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our session on
Okay, enough of that. And the video is now shared with your students. So the whole process, if I wasn't bloviating about it, would take 5 minutes longer than it took to record the video, however long the video was. It's quick, it's easy. And this does not use up any of your available file space in Canvas. The video has not been uploaded to Canvas. It's this embed link has been created, but it's just a fancy link. It's not a you didn't upload anything actually to Canvas to speak of. The video is still sitting on YouTube. It plays from YouTube. So Google pays for the storage and for the bandwidth to view it, and for the link to access it and all that. And we get all that to use all of the capability for free. YouTube is one of the best free deals that you'll ever see in life. You pay for it by occasionally watching a bit of advertising on the YouTube website. And Google makes enough money for that to support YouTube and make tons of extra money on it. Way more than it costs them to give you that YouTube account for free. But by sharing your videos with your students through an embed in Canvas this way, they are spared most of that advertising and distraction of recommended videos that pop up on the side of the screen and so on. That is all, or much of that is filtered out here by embedding it into Canvas. Much better to do an embed than just put the link to the video in, because if you just put the link in and the student clicks on it, they're taken to YouTube. And then there's a rank of videos down the right-hand side of the page, like this. They can get to YouTube from the Canvas on instructional. But we've got all this stuff over here, which is a whole lot more interesting than I am. Maybe not more interesting than you, but certainly more interesting than I am. This cute girl, and politics, and all this stuff over here that's designed to distract and lead you to click on it, and Google gets a little bit of money when you do that, and so on. Far better to keep it embedded into Canvas to spare your students this distraction. So, and you can set up all this right from your smartphone. That's how you do that on an iPhone. Let's take a quick look here at a video that will show us how to do that on an Android phone. I can search for that by searching for smartphone video on my on-demand website. And here is a, I thought I had that fixed. Sorry about that. We'll go, I'll fix that later. That search should have worked. How to record on Android and upload to YouTube is the video I was looking for. And this is one that Katie Palacios made some time ago, but it's still valid. So let me show you that.
In this video, I want to show you how to record yourself on your Android smartphone and upload that video to YouTube. So right now we're looking at my Android smartphone. I'm going to go ahead and open up the camera app. And it's already set to the selfie camera. If yours isn't, then you've got that button with the 2 arrows that will change the camera it's using. So I'll go ahead, actually now it's set to the selfie camera. So go ahead and record myself using the video camera button. And then I'll show you how you can upload this recording to YouTube. So give me a second here to just record a quick clip. Hi everybody, this is Katie. Just a quick little demo video here that I can use to show you how you upload this to YouTube. Thanks. Okay, so I hit the stop button to stop my recording, and now I'll show you how we can get that uploaded to YouTube. So I'll go back to the home screen here on my phone, and next I need to find that video in my gallery. So I click on my gallery, and I see the video that I just recorded. I open up that video. And when I tap on that video, I get the sharing options for that video. So I want to click on that share button. And it gives me, depending on the apps that I have installed on my phone, it gives me several options here. One of them should be YouTube. So I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom to find YouTube. I do have YouTube installed on this phone. And it's going to ask me for the title and description and privacy settings for this video. So I'll just do demo for my title and description, demo. And then for my privacy settings, I'm going to keep this as unlisted. I recommend unlisted or public. Private is going to make it really difficult to share with other users. So keep that as unlisted for now. You can always change it once you get online, once you get it up onto YouTube. Okay, and then the next thing for me to do is to click the upload this send button in the top right. And you'll see this getting uploaded to YouTube right here. I'm at 4%, it looks like now. And the speed that you experience here is really going to depend on your connection as well as the length of the video. All right, that's uploaded to YouTube. So at this point, I could log into YouTube from my desktop computer, and I should.
Okay, so basically the same process on an Android phone. The buttons are in a little different place. And indeed, with just Android is not the Android operating system on the majority of smartphones in the world is not as consistent from phone to phone as the iPhone or as iOS is. So there may be some minor variations over time or between one phone and the next, but basically that process is going to be the same. Looking at the time, where we are right now, 5 minutes after 3, I think I'm going to skip over doing this on a Kindle. And I'll record a tutorial on how to do that and put that on this online video site. But you can do this with a Kindle Fire, not a standard Kindle like the one that's just a book reader. But the Kindle Fire tablet is actually a limited Android tablet, a very inexpensive Android tablet. It uses a modification of the Android operating system. Unfortunately, the process doesn't look a lot like what you saw with Katie there, but it works fine. And let me see here, I've got that. There we go. The one I would certainly recommend. If you're looking for a device to create video, and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money on it, like buying a smartphone or God forbid, an iPad, which is going to set you back multiple hundreds of dollars, you can get a Kindle Fire 8, HD 8. Has a wonderful camera in it and has all the capability you need to record video and load it onto YouTube. And you can have it for $60 most days. Indeed, sometimes when Amazon's in a particularly good mood, these are 40 or 50 bucks. Around Christmas time, for instance, or Black Friday, you can get them for even less. They're out of stock right now. They're so popular because, of course, you can do a lot more with this Kindle Fire. You can read Kindle books on it. You can watch video, browse the web. It's a full-featured tablet. It's not as powerful as, say, an iPad or a Samsung Android tablet, or a Galaxy Tab, or whatever they call it, but it works. And it's a great book reader, and it's a great video production device. And it's a lot cheaper than a smartphone or an iPad. So that's another possibility. And if I have time, I'll show you how that one works. But right now, I think we're running a little long, so I'm going to put that off for now. So next thing we want to talk about here is using Zoom for this. Well, I've been doing that the whole time, right? We're doing that right now. Everything that I'm, when I kill my screen share, you're seeing me. I can record me talking head video. There's an option, and I can't show you this, I'll just have to tell you about it. There's an option when you're in a Zoom meeting, whether there's anybody else. Well, if there's nobody else in the meeting with you, for sure, you're going to be recorded full screen. And but if there are multiple people in the meeting with you, you can right click on your video and select Spotlight Video. And again, I can't show you that, but that will force your video to stay on the screen when you're recording. So you can record yourself talking, which is a very valuable talking head video. A little bit of that is a very good thing. It helps you to engage with your students. They love to see you, particularly in a fully online class like the ones we're going to have this summer. For everything, your students never see you unless you record a video like this. And that makes a way more of a psychological difference than you'd ever believe in an online course. Students are so much more comfortable in an online course if you just talk to them every now and then by recording a video and linking it into Canvas. It makes a huge counteraction to the psychological isolation that students tend to feel in an online course, especially when they never get to go to campus. So it's a very, very good thing to do. But you can do other stuff with Zoom as well. Of course, I've been sharing my screens. And those screens, if you're recording the Zoom session, you share your screen, those screens are recorded in quite decent quality. So you can demonstrate things to your students or show your students things that appear on your computer screen, which is also instructionally very useful. Screencasting, we call it. And Zoom is a great screencasting tool, but we're focusing today on motion video. So you can do other things with Zoom as well, other than just taking a talking head shot of yourself on your primary webcam. We've already seen the how we can record, show and record document cam video. I'll get it out in a minute. Document cam video. Let me share my screen again to remind us of that. I can bring up my IPEVO software and focus. And so whatever appears here can be shared with our students. And of course, you can also, let's see, high-tech solution of a piece of paper, legal pad, or whatever is convenient. Slap that under the document camera. They would zoom out a little bit so we can see the whole thing. And I can just write on this, so I can do whiteboard kind of stuff. And this can all be recorded in Zoom.
Dave?
Yes.
You've been live streaming on YouTube the entire session. I don't know if you had that intent.
I tried to set that up. I'm glad you mentioned that. I set it up, I started it, and I started it twice, as a matter of fact, and I got an error message. And I thought it wasn't working. Thanks for the information. That little message I got, or the little live indicator I got when I uploaded that video to YouTube suggested that. Thank you for letting me know that actually worked, because that's something I'll mention again here in a second that gives you even more reach. But so this is going out, this could potentially be going out worldwide to any number of people, thousands of people. Probably unlikely, but particularly with me on the screen here. But the potential is there. You can reach vast audiences this way from your desk at home. Thanks very much for that. We'll talk about how you set that up here in a minute. But so this is something we can do with Zoom. And we can record this, and your students you can put it on YouTube or put it in the Zoom cloud. That works fine. And then you can provide your students a link or an embed to it in Canvas, and they can watch this at any time. Zoom actually has quite a nice bag of tricks vis-a-vis video production. Zoom can simulate for you a multi-camera video studio because you can plug multiple webcams into your computer at one time. I've got 4 plugged into this computer right now. My primary webcam that you're seeing me on here is attached to the top of my monitor, is hanging on the top of my monitor. But I've also got my little document camera over here. Watch out, close your eyes for a second if you get seasick. I'm going to move this camera. There's my little document camera sitting right next to me. And so that's 2 cameras right there. And I can use that document camera just like an ordinary webcam. I can switch to it. And let me see if I can do a screenshot real quick of what this looks like. I think I got that. I'm getting it, trust me. Ah, yes. Ain't technology wonderful when it works? Now let me share my screen with you again. You can go back and forth very quickly. There's a keyboard shortcut even for screen sharing. But here is what my, and let me, no, I can't blow that up. Here's how I can switch between different video sources in YouTube, or in Zoom, excuse me. There's a little video window, or a video menu, I should say, just to the right of the little camera icon in your Zoom menu. It's a little up caret, and if you click on it, you get this menu, or a menu that comes up. And you can see, if you have multiple cameras attached, you can see them. I could potentially have about 6 different cameras attached here. I do have several attached. Those Epoch cams are actually software camera simulations, apps that will allow you to use your smartphone as a webcam. But I don't have those active right now, so I can't select them. But I do have 2 Logitech C920 webcams attached, something called a Dazzle video capture device, and the IPVO point-to-view document camera. And all of those can be selected. Let me show you what that would look like. I'm going to stop my screen share here now and go back to where I can get to the Zoom menus. And let's switch to the IPVO camera. And I can move that around, and there I am. This will work better if I stop my virtual background for a second. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes too. None. Okay, that'll make things a little clearer. So that's a different camera. That's one of, and I can use that camera to to record anything that might be going on in my space. If I were teaching, God forbid, I should teach a dance class with 3 left feet. But if you were teaching a dance class and you were talking to your students and you had a student or a colleague demonstrating dance moves in the room with you, you could switch between a camera that was seeing you and a camera that was seeing your colleague and go back and forth as you talk about the dance moves and things like that. Or it could be a process that's being carried out by someone on a table nearby, some sort of creative activity, or machining with a machine tool, or whatever. Again, limited only by your imagination. And you can switch back and forth between those cameras quickly using the menus in Zoom, or you can switch with a Control-N on the keyboard. Usually, let's see if that works. Sometimes it does, Sometimes it doesn't. It's not working for me right now. So I'm not going to worry about that. But you can use that menu that I showed you to switch between these cameras very quickly. And those cameras could be all over the place. I've got a second little webcam here that shows you my little studio I have set up here on my desktop with my 3 monitors and my other toys and so on. And again, as I'm talking about this and demonstrating things, I can switch back and forth to what any of these cameras see. I've even got, and I hope this one hasn't expired on me here. I can even go to a live shot out my back window. You watch for a second there, you see a car go by or something. That's a camera pointed out my back window. The quality on that one is not equivalent to these other digital cameras here. That's an old analog type camera. Actually, the camera itself is a digital camera, but the connections are all analog, and the quality is not very good because I didn't bring I don't have the best toys in that regard. But it works. If that were a better camera, it would be giving us a better picture. And I can just switch back and forth between these. And if I spotlight that video, that goes full screen. There went a car by. And I can switch back and forth between these videos, between these sources, just like I could in the control booth at the Super Bowl. Well, maybe not quite that way, but it works like a charm, and it's so simple to set up. I can go from video source to video source very quickly without, let's focus that one again, without any difficulty at all. So you can sit there like the director at the Super Bowl and choose which video source you want to take at any given time. And different things can be happening on each camera, and your students can experience this very sophisticated live video production. And except for a few cameras, it's all free because you get the Zoom software for free. The Zoom software is the key to all this, the Zoom video conferencing software. And it's going out live on YouTube. And people all over the world could be seeing this. God knows what they might make of it, but they could be seeing it. And it's being recorded, so I will be able to share this with my students later. This is power, folks. This is incredible reach and instructional capability for next to nothing. Oh, and I wanted to show you one of the other little camera over here. Talking about that. With these Logitech webcams, and with many webcams indeed, as I mentioned before, you could mount them on a tripod, so you can pan, tilt, and zoom very easily. And the reason I like the Logitech C920s is that they have a tripod screw built into the bottom of the holder, so I can put it on a tripod securely. And with that capability, I can then switch to that camera and show you what that camera is seeing. I do kind of have to keep track of which camera is which, but there's that camera. It's looking at my green screen behind me, and I'll show you that support here in a second. We'll talk about that as well. But I can pan, tilt, zoom around on a little tripod. So you can follow action that's taking place. You can use this to record live activity. Like I said, a dance class or an exercise class, PE class. Analyzing someone's golf swing. Just incredible, because of course, you can do this from your smartphone as well. You can use the camera in your smartphone and broadcast live from it on Zoom. You'd be out at the links analyzing someone's golf swing. Just again, limited only by your imagination. So that really allows you as a faculty member, without knowing a whole lot about video and without spending a whole lot of money other than on the smartphone maybe, which you probably have anyway for other reasons, to access this incredible educational capability that video provides. I love this presentation, obviously, because the amount of power that this puts in your hands instructionally is just phenomenal. Okay, let's see where we are here. Get this out of the way. Bring up my outline. Oh, and I'll just mention too briefly that you can also have multiple microphones on your on Zoom. There's a menu similar to the video selection menu that you saw that allowed you to select different cameras that will allow you to select multiple microphones. Most computers will allow you to plug in multiple microphones via USB as well. The microphones in these Logitech C920 cameras are phenomenal. And they will record audio from across the room if people speak clearly and at a reasonable volume. You can be all the way across a small room and still have the microphones in the camera pick up the audio. But if you need something a little better, for a few dinero, you can have something like this, which is called a boundary microphone. That sits on a tabletop, and it has a cord on it that can be extended to 10 or 20 feet and brought back and plugged into the computer that you're running your Zoom meeting on. So and that microphone can not only hear you, and let me switch to that microphone, give you an idea. Let's see, there it is. Similar selection menu. Now you're hearing me through that microphone. Quality probably seems a little different, but that's a decent microphone. It should be coming through all right. And that microphone could be used to pick up not only you, but everybody else who's in the room with you. So if you do one of those tricks like you saw earlier, where I had a Zoom meeting going in a classroom, where I had people in the classroom and attending via Zoom. And if I have this microphone sitting out in the middle of the room, and it has even better pickup capability distance-wise and 360-degree capability than the microphones in the webcam do, then I can have, not only can I have people attending the class physically in a classroom and through Zoom, but the people attending remotely can talk, if I have speakers in the room, to the people who are sitting there in the classroom and to me, and they can speak back and forth. And that capability used to cost tens of thousands of dollars to achieve. And now you can use it with Zoom and $100 or $200 worth of equipment. That boundary microphone is not free. I think it was about 70 bucks, something like that. So, but that capability exists. Though most of the time, the microphones in a good Logitech webcam are fine for picking up not only you, but anybody who might be in the room with you. We hold our meetings at Online Learning Pathways using that when people were actually at the district. They had one of these webcams in a conference room, and it picked up people from all the way across the conference room just fine. So it's, again, that's the Logitech C920. Let me show you that one. Of course, they're very difficult to come by right now. Webcams have become very scarce. Let me go to that one. We've already looked at this, so we'll do Tech C92X. The 920S is probably the best one right now. Yeah. Yeah, they're not. Oh, that's international version. They're not even showing that one, right? There's a C920. It should cost about $60 or $70. Somebody's gouging on that one. Most of these are not available right now. But the ones that look like this with the microphones on either side are formidable. The audio, the pickup capability is formidable. And eventually, probably the C920S is the best deal right now, normally. Let me see if I can find that one. Here, they're not even showing that one. It's been out of stock so long. But sooner or later, those will become available again, and they make wonderful audio. They make their microphones are as impressive as their video performance.
Dave, can I ask you a question?
Certainly.
Okay, I have one of these headphones which are like Bose noise canceling and hand-free. And then when I record my Zoom videos, sometimes it's really good. I mean, the sound is very clear, but sometimes it's something I can't explain what it is. The sound is really irritating. Like it's not the sound is.
No, please continue. I'm sorry.
So I was wondering, because sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Do I need to change a setting to make it work, or it's not a good idea to use that Bose to begin with?
No, the headphones are a very good idea. You're doing this in Zoom?
Yes, in Zoom.
Yeah, that's
because
most likely.
Go ahead.
That's most likely a problem with Zoom. The audio sometimes will drop in quality due to a burst of traffic on your local internet service provider's network or some problem with Zoom. If you're getting good audio some of the time, it's almost certainly a Zoom issue and not an issue with your microphone or with your computer.
Right, because when I do, like if I make a video with the Camtasia, I don't have that problem.
Right.
But that's different, right? Because that's a software on my computer.
You're using the same microphone and the same computer, right?
Right. I was wondering if
that's a Zoom
because it's
issue, most likely.
Oh, okay. So is there any way I could fix it, or should is there a microphone that would not give me that problem, for example?
No, not really.
No. Okay.
This doesn't sound like a hardware problem with the microphone. It sounds like just limitations with Zoom when Zoom gets very busy. What you can do is try to do it at a different time if that's possible. You can also, if it's appropriate to do so, you can turn off your video in your Zoom meeting, and that will improve your sound.
It's already off. Because of that, I have turned it off.
Yeah.
So one more question. For the online classes for summer, what would be a good time that the traffic is not so bad? Like earlier in the morning, late at night?
Probably not late at night. People in your neighborhood will be streaming their Netflix. Probably early in the morning is a good time.
Okay. So you think that make a difference?
That's going to vary with your location. You just have to try it. Also, you can record using Zoom, as we're doing right now, and do it at a time or do it in a meeting where you don't have anybody else in there with you. And you can produce a recording that you can then share with your students that they can watch later. And that may improve your audio performance a bit too.
Okay.
Because Zoom's not having to keep as many balls in the air at one time.
Okay.
But I empathize. It happens to me too. I hope everybody's been hearing me okay. I generally have very good internet access here where I am now. But sometimes it happens to me.
Today, sometimes your sound was not good. I don't know if it was me or everyone else had the same problem. sometimes your sound was kind of not very clear and kind of
That can happen.
friction.
That can happen
Okay.
with Zoom, yeah. Particularly when I'm
Okay.
showing all these different videos and things like that. So that can interfere with the sound as well. But that's just sort of a limitation with Zoom. And
What
there's not
if
much you can do about that because 300 million people are using Zoom each week and things like that. So
okay.
okay,
I
so
got it.
let's,
Okay, thanks.
if I may, I'm going to move ahead here with our presentation because we got some other neat things to try. So Zoom is an incredible video production tool in addition to being a meeting tool. And of course you can put Zoom recordings on either on YouTube or on the Zoom cloud. We've covered that in other sessions. We have tutorials for that as well. If you go to our on-demand video site and just look at our Zoom tutorials by typing Zoom in the search box and pressing enter, or Zoom recording. Here we have, let's see. I don't want to go through all that. Let's go to Zoom recording. Enter. Recording to your local computer in Zoom and loading the recording onto YouTube. Or recording a Zoom session. I also have another tutorial that's coming on recording to the Zoom cloud, though recording to the Zoom cloud is pretty much automatic in a Confer Zoom account. If you don't go to some trouble, that's where your recordings will automatically end up, and you can access your Zoom recordings there and provide links to your students as well. So by utilizing Zoom, maybe in a meeting, quote unquote, where there's nobody else there, you can use Zoom as a video production tool and record a mixture of video sources and your computer screen with your voice and other sounds potentially, and put all of that onto YouTube or onto the Zoom cloud and share it with your students. So it's a terrific video studio all on its own, a multi-input video studio. Something that used to cost tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, all in software. Phenomenal.
Can I ask a
Okay.
question?
Yes, if it's about video production, absolutely.
Yeah, so my computer sometimes says it's not connecting to the cloud, but that's different from the Zoom cloud, right? So the video will still go even if my computer
The video
says
should go,
no.
yeah. If you're in Zoom, you're connected to the internet for sure, or Zoom wouldn't function. So when you record to the Zoom cloud, when you finish the meeting, the video will be uploaded to the Zoom cloud. Actually, it's uploading as you go, but it'll finish uploading, and you'll see it on there. Zoom will send you an email within usually 10 minutes to an hour, and that your recording's online, and then another email maybe an hour or two after that telling you that your captions, your transcript, your captions are ready. And you don't have to do anything to make that happen. That's a very simple process. So last thing we want to talk about today is green screen effects. As you're seeing right now, I'm sitting in front.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
If we go on, can you, if you decided that you made an error and you want to delete the recording, can you do that, Walker?
Yes, you can delete it. If the error is not, radioactively fatal, you can also download the video from the Zoom cloud, and if you have a video editor, you can edit it and take out the parts that you didn't want, or fix something, and then put it back online, say on YouTube.
All right, thank
So
you.
those are theoretical possibilities, at least, but certainly you can go to Zoom and delete the Zoom cloud and delete a recording that you don't want there. Indeed, you've got only about a gigabyte of storage space on the Zoom cloud. So you may have to do that from time to time by deleting old or downloading older videos and deleting them from the Zoom cloud to make more room. And you can do that in your account screens on Zoom. Go to the Zoom cccconfer.zoom.us, or just zoom.us is the same website. Log in as you, and you can go to your recordings, and you'll see links to them here. You can view them, or you can share them with your students by clicking the share button, and that will give you the sharing information you need. Also, you can download your videos from here and then delete them. You can just select the ones you want to delete and delete selected. So you have complete control over this, and you have access to it at any time.
Thank you.
You bet.
So David,
So,
I have one more question.
yes.
Can I ask you about this? When you download that, if you already have sent the link to students, that's for the cloud. So you have to send them a new link if you download it after you.
Well, if you were going to share this with your students, you wouldn't need to download the video. They can view it from where it is. They just need the URL.
Right, but what if you delete it?
If you delete it, then they can no longer view it. You would have to, in that event, you would have to upload it to YouTube and download it to your local computer and then upload it to YouTube. And I've got a tutorial on how to do that too. How to move your Zoom recordings from the Zoom cloud to YouTube, because you may have to do that from time to time because you may run out of space in the Zoom cloud. And that tutorial will show you how to do that. And again, I got that through by searching for Zoom recordings in the on-demand video site.
Thank you.
You bet. Good question. So let's do what we can in 20 minutes on Chroma Key. Chroma Key is the term that's referred to, that refers to so-called green screen effects, where you can replace a solid color, like the green color behind me in a video, with a still image or a video. Let me put Chroma Key, the word in the chat tool, since it's sort of a made-up word. That's how it's spelled, in case you want to search for it, for information about it. And Zoom has Chroma Key capability built into it. They call it the virtual backgrounds. And I do have a tutorial for that too. We try to make as many as we can.
You have how to make millionaire too on
there? You think I'd be, if I knew how to do that, you think I'd be doing this today?
Aren't you making a millionaire like you're doing well?
Nope.
Okay, so where is it now?
Zoom virtual background. Using virtual backgrounds in Zoom here. We'll show you how to do that. And maybe I better show you this video real quick. It's not very long because, again, you can't see me doing this in Zoom. So I had to record it so I could play it back for you during a Zoom meeting. So I'm sharing my screen. Let me pull up that video and full screen it. On YouTube, obviously.
Using virtual backgrounds in your Zoom meetings. Both hosts and participants can do this. To set up use of a virtual background, you'll need to go to the Video Settings menu, just to the right of the little camera icon in your Zoom menu. You can bring that Zoom menu up by mousing over your screen on a computer or tapping the screen on a mobile device, though this really will work only on a computer. The Video Settings menu, just to the right of the camera icon, will allow you to choose a virtual background, assuming you have this option set in your Zoom meeting settings. And here we are in the virtual background settings page. You can use both still images and short video loops as a background in Zoom. You do, however, have to have a reasonably featureless background behind you. A light colored wall of a single color is ideal. Right now, what I am sitting in front of course, is the ideal, which is a well-lit green screen. But you can make this work if the background behind you is not too busy or doesn't have a lot of bright colors in it. You can also buy green drapes for relatively little money that you can hang behind you. Amazon has quite a few of them. So to choose a pre-supplied background image, you just select one you like. And there we are. There's the Golden Gate Bridge behind us. You can also add your own photos. Photos taken with a smartphone are generally ideal. Just click this little plus sign here and select Add Image and go to your pictures on your local hard drive and find a picture that you like. Click Open. And some pictures work better than others. This one didn't translate very well, so we'll just take that out. But
matter of
most
trial and
any
error.
Other pictures that you have on your in your image files are likely to work. Again, anything taken with your smartphone is generally quite effective. Well, let's just take that one. Back of my house with a deer. Okay, so it's quite easy to add pictures to this. You can also find free background videos. Get this out of the way for the moment. You can also find free background videos online. I like this site, Cover, cover.co, not .com, but .co for .company, or hopefully not .columbia, but I think this is .company. And here are numerous free video backgrounds that you can try out and then just download for free and import into your Zoom sessions. And that's about all there is to it. The key, of course, is having a decent, fairly featureless background, or better yet, a green screen. Have fun with that.
All right. So very simple process. It works sometimes. Again, what's actually physically behind you has a lot to do with it. If you have like a beige wall that's more or less featureless, it's going to work quite well. Or you can just hang a sheet behind you. If it's not too wrinkled, that'll work pretty well. If it's a busy background with a lot of objects or with different colors, it's not going to work very well. And there's an option to tell Zoom that you do have a green screen or not, which will cause it to work better or worse under different circumstances. If you have a green screen, it'll work a lot better. The
But just getting that green screen behind you will make a tremendous difference. And just a simple green cloth drape hanging behind you on a door or a coat rack or something, some kind of support device will work. If you want to spend a little more money on it, let me kill my share here and show you what I have behind me. I'll go to my other webcam here, and I may have to actually hand hold this one to show. Here's a professional support system, semi-professional anyway, support system, sorry. And a crossbar across the top, and then another post on the other side down there. That set me back, I don't know, 120 bucks, something like that. You can get them for a lot cheaper than that, but they tend to be a little rickety. And instead, you notice how smooth that green surface is. That is not cloth. That is a roll of green, sort of like real heavy butcher paper. And the roll is threaded on the crossbar on the top. And it gives a very smooth, effective surface. And I think the roll of paper costs about 50 bucks or something like that. And it just threaded on that rod, and then the supports hold the rod up. And if I mess up this piece of it, I can just pull it down like a roll of toilet paper and cut it off, and I have a whole new Chroma Key surface. I haven't had to do that in 2.5 years I've had this, but it's theoretically possible. I've got a lot of green paper on the roll up there that I haven't used, but this works fantastically well. It also helps if you have some lighting. I've got some basic photographer's umbrella lighting there that is not terribly expensive. I forget what I paid for that kit. Not a whole lot, 50 or 60 bucks maybe. And I've got another lamp on, another light on me to light me, which helps with Chroma Key as well. But you really, the Chroma Key tool, the virtual background tool in Zoom, is tolerant enough of different lighting and different backgrounds and so on. If you have a reasonably featureless background behind you and the room lighting, the ambient lighting is okay, it's probably going to work pretty well. I see some of you here have excellent virtual backgrounds going. And I don't know how many of you actually have green screens, probably not all of you anyway. They're having it work well for them. So this is something you can do. I guess the question might be, well, what's the real instructional value in it? It's interesting and certainly fun. A lot of people are interested in doing it, but you can actually get some decent instructional value out of it as well. Let me go back to my main webcam here and point it up a little bit. Your virtual backgrounds don't have to be pretty pictures or little video loops. They could be PowerPoint slides. If I get my chair out of the way here, I can stand up here, get back near the green screen, and I can give a PowerPoint presentation from here. My camera's having a focusing moment. There we go. 5 tips for listening well. If I had a remote mouse in my hand, I wouldn't have to walk back and forth like this, but then I could switch to another picture of another PowerPoint slide. And I'm seeing myself on the video, so I'm actually doing this Chroma Key live. So I could enjoin you to, when you sit down to listen, be physically and mentally prepared. Actually, I'm having a little bit of trouble reading that from across the room, unfortunately. Let me get this out of the way. Oh, this is easier if you're younger. Yeah, now I can see it better.
read a little bit about the topic that the PowerPoint, that the presentation is going to cover, so you have some basic idea of terminology and concept and so on before you go in. It's going to make you a much better listener. Try not to show up and get lost in the first 5 minutes of the presentation and just zone out. Now I can go to the next one. Next slide. If I had somebody changing the slides for me, it's easier, but not necessary. Be quiet. You listen a lot better when you're not running your mouth. You do want to speak up when it's necessary, but you want to be listening a lot more than you're speaking. And when you do speak, you're much more likely to be listened to in that circumstance. And I have no idea what a good aura is. And I can of course, I can interact with these things. If I had a diagram up here, I could actually point to a section in the diagram and point out a feature or an image, part of an image, and an anatomy diagram, for instance. I could point to the different organs in the diagram and so on. I can interact with that in real time, and all of this is being recorded by Zoom and in quite good quality. So you can produce a very sophisticated looking presentation, again, very cheaply and easily. So that's a neat trick you can do with Chroma Key in Zoom, because you can put any sort of still image behind there. What you can't do in Zoom yet, at any rate, is put yourself in front of a more extensive video, one that has, that lasts several minutes and has a variety of scenes and so on. That's so-called live Chroma Key, like you see in movies or on the evening news on TV, when somebody seems to be driving a car and they've got the looking out the back window and you can see the world going by and so on, but in fact there's a green screen back there and they're keying the video of the countryside going by onto that and so on. Those very sophisticated live Chroma Key techniques are beyond Zoom at this point in time. There is something I'll just mention, something I'm starting to play with that I have had recommended to me by some other folks who have mentioned, who are video enthusiasts, and it's a piece of software that is free to download. Let me see, I have that here somewhere. OBS is the term, Open Broadcaster Software. This is completely free. It runs on both Windows, Mac, runs on all major operating systems, Windows, Mac, and Linux. And it is a software video studio that has Chroma Key capability and reputedly allows you to record live or stream live Chroma Key type presentations, like the weather person, on TV. The weather person on TV is not standing in front of a weather map. They're standing in front of a green screen. And they're looking off the side and they see themselves in front of an image of a weather map or an animated weather map, and they point to things and so on. That's quite challenging to do, I might add. It's easier to do what I was just doing in Zoom. But you can, this apparently has that capability. I'm just getting started playing with it. I'll maybe do a session about this at some point in the future if I can master it for video geeks. But it is a fascinating possibility. Again, Open Broadcast, OBS Studio, Open Broadcast Studio. Just Google that if you're a video enthusiast and want to tinker with it. It looks like it has some real
capability. All right.
Dave, I have a question.
Absolutely.
If you go to that cover website for the short background video,
right,
it said you just put it in. How do you get it into the Zoom?
Oh, okay, good question. That I'll answer that in just a moment. Let me just say, right now we're right at 4 o'clock, and I believe I think that I've accomplished as much as I'm going to today. There was one other topic I was thinking about covering, and that was how to do Chroma Key effects in post-production, in video editing, using Camtasia. I do have a tutorial for that online, and I will be making a new one since Camtasia's changed some since that first came out, when I first made that video. But you can do a lot of these things in post-production as well, and put, if you're doing screencasting, or if you're shooting yourself live against a green screen, I should say, with motion video, using Zoom or whatever, you can take that video, you can drop it into a video editor, and you can replace the green background behind you with other still images, or with still images, or with video, recorded video. And you can put yourself into a virtual environment while you're talking to your students. You can be talking to your students about, say, in an earth science course about volcanology, and you can have yourself standing on the lip of a volcanic crater in eruption and things like that, places you wouldn't normally want to go. So that's a cute technique as well, but that I'm going to have to leave for an outside tutorial. So how would we put those cover videos into YouTube? And that's not the only site where you can get those, by the way. It's just one that I've found that seem to have especially nice videos for free. And I don't appear to have picked up anything from it. The .co domain, by the way, is nominally the domain for the nation of Colombia. But it's freely available to anyone, so a lot of people have started to use it as shorthand for company. And this, I believe this website is not based in Colombia, but is in fact somebody who couldn't get that URL or couldn't get that domain name in the .com domain, C-O-M, so they use .co instead. And there's apparently a lot of people doing that now. But let's pull up cover. C-O-V-R-R. Yeah. C-O-V-E-R-R. There we go. Free stock footage. And I just searched for Zoom backgrounds. And there they are. Free Zoom background videos. I like this one of the river. I'll take that one. I just click on it and bring it up so I can view it. And if I like it, I download it for free. I had to, they asked me to give them my email, but you notice you get the video anyway, so you don't have to give them the email. Down by the river, that's interesting. I'll put that in my videos folder just so I can find it again. My videos library on the computer. And there it is, it's downloaded. It's just a short MP4 video that is set to loop, that is play over and over and over and over again. So to get that into Zoom, now that's what I have a hard time showing you, because you, unless I'm missing my guess, you're not seeing my video settings window, are you? No. So let me record this another way.
We are seeing it.
Oh, you are seeing it. Geez. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Great, thank you for the feedback. So you can see what I'm about to do then. I just add the image or video, clicking on this little plus sign here. I have to be in my virtual background tool, of course. Add video instead of add image. I go and find the video, and that one was down by the river. Let's see, down by the river. There we go. Click open, and that appears in Zoom.
Cool.
All there is to it. And now you're seeing it behind me.
Mm-hmm.
How did you put the PowerPoint?
I'm sorry?
How did you put the PowerPoint?
How did I put the PowerPoint behind me?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Very similar. But any questions about the video? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Now, I got the PowerPoint slides by opening up PowerPoint. Get this out of the way. That I know you can see. I just opened up a PowerPoint presentation that I downloaded as a sample years ago. This is like a 4-slide presentation that I use when I'm illustrating how to record a narration for a PowerPoint presentation. And so I brought up the presentation in PowerPoint, and I did a File, Save As. And instead of saving as a PowerPoint presentation, I saved it as a series of JPEG files, JPG files. I had to put it somewhere where I could find it, so I made a folder for it in Documents Library called PowerPoint Slides, yeah. And I just saved them. It then asked me, do you want to save just the one slide that you're looking at now or all of the slides in the presentation?
I was just about to ask that. Do you have to have a separate JPEG for each slide, or does it do the whole thing? Thank you.
Yes. No, you have to have it produces a separate JPEG image for each slide.
But you can save it as a single file.
No, it's a series of files. Let me show you. If I save all slides, as each slide in your presentation has been saved as a separate file in this folder. And then, yeah, that would be convenient, but no chance. Now, if I go to Zoom, bring my Zoom window over here and my virtual background window over again. What I did was I just added each of these slide images to my list of images, doing add image. And I went to the folder where those were stored. And there they are, 4 different files. And I had to upload each one separately. So obviously, this is not going to be ideal for a 100-slide PowerPoint presentation. I don't know what the limit is on the number of still images you can load into this virtual background tool in Zoom. I haven't hit it yet, is all I can tell you, and I've got 15 or so in there. So, of course, anybody who subjects their students to a 100-slide PowerPoint presentation may have a reckoning coming at some point. But a PowerPoint presentation of reasonable length could be done this way. So, and I hope that answered your question about that. That sounded like Mauricio. Was that yours?
It's always mine.
And so that made sense. Okay, I take it. Let me ask you, did that make sense? Hearing no demurral on that, I'll assume that's so. And yeah, I guess it's Thank you, Carolee, I think. Let me check my chat tool here and see if there are any questions that I haven't answered. I did answer BB's question about where to find the recordings. Thank you all for putting your names and email addresses in there. Captioned video had that question. What was that specifically about? If the person who asked that is still here.
I think you answered that already.
Okay.
You talked about it. It just I was too soon. Sorry.
Yeah, it would be nice to have live captions in this Zoom session, and CCC Confer used to offer that service if you gave them 5 days notice.
Oh, okay.
But they've run out of money for it, which I strongly suspected they would when everybody went online. So they're not offering that service anymore. There is some hope along those lines, though. Zoom has partnered with a company called Otter, like the critters that you might find swimming in that river behind me there. The company is has a wonderful speech-to-text tool that operates in real time. It can take real-time speech and convert it to text. And Zoom has created an integration with that tool that effectively gives you real-time captioning on a Zoom meeting. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. And certainly a whole lot better than not having any live captioning at all. There's just one problem, and you can probably imagine what it is. It ain't free. It's apparently quite pricey. And I have no idea if CCC Confer is even considering providing that service to everybody in the California community colleges. It would probably, I suspect it might be very expensive to do so, and everybody's budgets are being hammered, so I wouldn't hold my breath. But at least the technology exists. I was going to sign up for it myself and pay for it for a little while just to try it out, but it requires a group account. It would have to be done by somebody like CCC Confer to set it up. And I don't know that that will ever happen, but that's at least the technology does exist to provide automatic live captioning without the intermediacy of a live, person actually transcribing live using a 12-key machine, a court reporter's type transcription. So can one embed YouTube videos into PowerPoint? Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, totally.
That was a good question. Let me just make let me get out of this one. I don't want to mess up my little sample presentation here. I'm still sharing my screen, so you're seeing what I'm doing. Let me go File, New, and Blank Presentation, and do a layout here of a blank slide. I can still do PowerPoint a little bit, but I don't use it much anymore. I can embed a YouTube video in any PowerPoint slide that I want to. I go to the Insert ribbon at the top of the screen. And way over on the right of the ribbon is the Video Insert tool. Click on that, and you can insert an online video, i.e. a YouTube video, or any online video. It doesn't have to be on YouTube. This works great for you, works better for YouTube videos than anything else, but it works fine for other video sites as well. Now I just have to go to YouTube and find a video that I want to use. There, I've got YouTube up there. Let's see, I don't get out of that. Here's YouTube. I can go get that video. I made that exceptionally ugly video we made earlier. I can get the share URL for that video. And now we're recording. By clicking the share button at the below and to the right of the video and selecting just the link is all I need here. Copy that to the clipboard. And then go back to the PowerPoint presentation. There it is. And just paste that URL into this box here and click Insert. And there it is. I can move it around. I can make it bigger or smaller. It's big enough as it is. Jesus. Ugh. Okay. And you can play it right from there. My computer is doing a lot of stuff right now, so it's taking a minute for that to process. There we go. And now we're recording. Good. A caveat here. What I did was embed that video. I didn't actually drop it into the PowerPoint slide, so it is not part of the PowerPoint presentation. So if you do that and you plan to use a YouTube video when you're presenting live off of a laptop, say at a conference, make darn sure you've got internet connectivity, because that video is playing off the internet, not locally. You can insert a video. If you have the video file, you can insert the video from your computer. And then it does become a part of the, it doesn't become a part of the PPT file or PPTX file, but it can be included as long as you have the video file on the same thumb drive, say, that you're using for the PowerPoint presentation. It will work, and you're not dependent on internet connectivity. My stupid dog and my robot lawnmower. Okay, so you can do both. And this is safer if you're not sure you're going to have internet if you're traveling somewhere to do the presentation. If you're doing it online, of course, from your own computer, it's not an issue. Okay, good questions. Yes, I know I've been live streaming. I'm fascinated. I wish I had a chance to go and look at it. A matter of fact, I may do that before I shut the thing down today and see that. It's the first time I've really tried that. That's a relatively new feature in Zoom. Not only people can view your presentation not only by joining it and being full-fledged attendees and being able to talk back to you and so on, they can actually view it through a live stream on YouTube if you set it up. The option to do that is in your Zoom menu. If you're the host, is in your Zoom menu way out to the right in the More section, the 3 dots section. If you click on the 3 dots, you'll see an option to start this to start a live stream in YouTube or Facebook. I don't use Facebook on philosophical grounds, but YouTube I use every day. And we're live streaming to Facebook right now. If somebody had the access URL for it, they could be watching this even as we speak. They couldn't directly reply back. They couldn't get into the chat tool, for instance, I don't think. I think they'd have to like email you or something to communicate back to you, but they could benefit live from it. So, will this video be on demand today? Certainly soon, hopefully soon. I like to introduce each module via video. I like to ask lead-in questions and pique students' interest. Wonderful idea. So you post a video at the beginning of each module that you've recorded using your smartphone or whatever, any of these techniques we've talked about. That's a really good idea. Or to create a video syllabus is another wonderful idea, where you go over your syllabus and you show, you use Zoom to bring up pages of your syllabus or information that you share in your syllabus and so on. That's a neat idea. What type of doc cam should I get again? Well, I can tell you what I like. And that is the IPEVO cameras. IPEVO.com, IPEVO.com. Go to products here. The one I think you would want is the entry-level model. It's $100. You're going to pay $100 for it no matter where you buy it, because nobody discounts this. These people control their pricing. This is everything you need. It's wonderfully sharp. The video resolution goes all the way to 4K, which is phenomenal. And it's much crisper than the one that I have that you've been seeing me use, and mine works well enough. So this is going to be terrific. You certainly don't need to spend a couple $100 on one of these things. And those have been available on Amazon from time to time. Let's go to and search and see what today looks like. They've been coming in and out of stock. There it is, bestseller, $99, free delivery. Oh, okay, they're going to be in stock on the 13th. So it looks like you will be able to get one at some point. There are other places you can shop for them, of course. Walmart sometimes has them, walmart.com. Best Buy is a better bet. Or you can just do a Google search for it and see who might have some in stock. But Amazon will have some sooner or later. And there are other manufacturers as well, though I've heard that some of the others are not so hot. Some are, some aren't. This is one I can vouch for. The others I couldn't.
So Dave, I could use that, for instance, if I'm trying to show my students, some of them are having trouble getting in the breakout rooms on Zoom. So I could use my phone to show them how to get into the breakout room?
You could record your computer screen with a phone, though you might find it easier to use something like Snagit or Snagit or Screencast-O-Matic. But you could just take a video of your computer screen using your phone. Absolutely, that would work.
Oh. Okay.
You wouldn't need the document camera for that, but your phone would do that just fine, I think, because the cameras in those smartphones now are just so good, and because these LCD screens that we use, or LED screens that we use now for computer monitors, don't have scan lines in them. We have an electron beam scanning up and down. You don't get rolling effects and so on when you try to record a computer screen with a smartphone. So that should work.
So just so I am clear, I take a video of my Zoom screen,
right?
Or screenshot, and then I can use the doc cam with my phone that's taken that picture to show them. Is that correct?
You could do that. You could also just upload the video from your phone right to YouTube, as I showed earlier. Okay. And the students would have an easier time seeing it. But if you wanted to show it to them live in a session, yeah, that should work. Let's try it. Let's see how well it would work. I'll pull it. I'm gonna let me kill my screen share for a second. And I can show myself starting the breakout rooms. And I'll go to my phone camera app. I didn't mean to take a picture, I meant to take a video. Okay, so there, now I'm recording the video. I can show them, I can go in on that and I can show them how to create rooms. I'm not going to go through the process. I don't want to mess this up here, but let's see how that much translates. Bring the video up on my phone. And now I'm recording the video. Let's see. Oh, I want to, of course, go landscape. And let me share my screen. And bring up my visualizer software. Oops. And point the camera in the right direction. There's always a kinesthetic component, isn't there? And focus the camera. And zoom in. And let's get the resolution as high as we can get it. And this would be sharper on the, whoops, crash the software. That happens sometimes with us. You bring it back up. Got to be patient with technology. I think I said that once today. All right. There we go. Make it bigger. Flip it around to do that each time. Be nice if it remembered that. Zoom in, and again, let's go to the highest possible resolution that this camera is capable of, and then focus it. Maybe zoom in a little further. And remember, your camera would be sharper, and then play the video. I can show them, I can go in on that. I can show them how to create rooms. I'm not going to go through the process. I don't want to mess this up here, but let's see how that, let's see it. Not terrible, not great. Also, my phone is an old phone. This is about a 4-year-old phone. So the smartphone displays have gotten better and the cameras have gotten a lot better. This is a 7 or 8-year-old camera. So yeah, I think you could probably get away with doing that.
Okay.
Though you could also, of course, record that using, take that video and upload it to YouTube and very quickly and have them, and then play that for them. If it were very quick, or you could even record that in advance and play a generic explanation of how to get into their breakout rooms and so on. Okay. But I think this would work ad hoc too pretty well. Interesting idea. It's well worth trying.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Can they see me in the recording? It just depends on how you do the recording. In a Zoom recording, if you turn your video off, no. If you turn your video on, yes, you will be probably visible in the Zoom recording. My headphone stops the audio for the students on Zoom. Probably that's not what's stopping the audio for your students on Zoom. When you share your screen in Zoom, if you're planning on sharing a video, there is an option you have to check in order for your students to be able to hear the sound. I've got a screenshot of that here. This tool is called Snagit, and I'm sharing with you right now. And I have a screenshot of that somewhere. Let me find it. I use this tool a lot. There it is. This is the screen that pops, the window that pops up when you hit the share button, share screen button in Zoom as the host. And in the lower left-hand corner, there is an option to share computer sound. If you're thinking about that you might play a video for your students, you need to make sure that option is checked before you click the second share button and actually activate the share. So that if you're having trouble, if your students are having trouble hearing videos that you're playing when you share your screen in a Zoom meeting, that is the most likely reason. All right.
So can I ask you one question?
Absolutely.
Okay. When I use the share screen, if I'm using like a normal headphone, which is attached to my computer, it works. But if I have my wireless headphone, it doesn't work. Do you know what I should do?
Oh, so your wireless headphones are not working with Zoom?
Yeah, it doesn't work when I want to share my computer sound from my computer. It doesn't do it. It only will do it if it's, let's say, those kind of headphone which is attached. It has wire. The wireless never worked for me. Have you heard about that? But it works
when you're not. But the headphones work when you're not sharing your screen.
My headphone is working, but when I play something on my computer, I want to share my sound from my computer. That's what you were saying, right? Right now?
Yeah.
Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I'm having the same problem too.
With wireless headphones?
They're wireless, but they don't work wireless. I have to plug them into the computer. But some of the videos the students can't hear when I have my headphones on.
That's right.
I don't know why that would be, because as long as you have that option checked that I showed you, the sound, it never actually makes it to your head. Well, the sound is pulled off and sent to the students before it gets to your headphones. But I haven't tried that. I don't have a set of wireless headphones here. I'll need to check that out though. Thanks for the heads up.
Sure.
And we'll try it and see. And I'll do some research on that and see if it's a known problem with Zoom.
All right, great, thanks.
Interesting. Thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Will a green plastic tablecloth work? If it's featureless green, yeah, probably so. By the way, there's nothing vis-a-vis Chroma Key. There's nothing magic about the color green. They use that. Actually, you can do Chroma Key with any color. They used to use blue screens, as a matter of fact. When they made Star Wars using that technology, Chroma Key, they used blue screens. And years later, they started using green screens instead. And the reason for that is that if the color of the background appears anywhere else in the video, then that part of the video goes invisible. People with blue eyes, for instance, if you're using a blue screen, and doing Chroma Key, people with blue eyes have their irises vanish. That's how they get that evil looking effect in horror movies where somebody has these evil eyes. They're doing it by that scene is being chroma keyed, and they're keying out the color of the person's eyes. They may be wearing colored contacts that, but that happens to blue-eyed people if you use a blue screen, even if you don't want it to. So they went to that color of green. There are very few people have truly green eyes. So it's not nearly as much of a problem. Also, except on March the 17th every year, no one would be caught dead wearing that color. That bilious chroma key green. So the chances of a character in the film actually having that color on are very remote. On the other hand, if you want to make the movie about the invisible person, you just clothe them head to toe in a green suit and leave their face clear or their eyes clear, and the only thing that shows up is what's not green. So you can do some interesting things with Chroma Key. You can buy those suits on Amazon if you want to get really kinky. So so yeah, your green plastic tablecloth, as long as it's featureless green, one color, should work fine. I'd be fascinated to hear how it works. How far was I from the camera to the green screen when I was doing the PowerPoint lesson? About 6 feet, 6, 7 feet. I had to get back far enough that I would fit in the frame. So I was over here standing against the green screen. You could still see me, and once the camera focuses, and my head wasn't cut off. It took some time to set that up before the meeting today. And you can do with some webcams, you can also do some zooming in and out, zoom the camera in and out to fit yourself in the frame. BB, if you're still there, the flex number is a district flex. There's a question about the flex number not showing up on the flex site. It's district flex. And if you don't find it there, let me know and I'll check with Mary Kingsley. She's the one who created that flex number for us. But it won't be your college flex or continuing education flex. That's the district flex number. Have I heard of StreamYard.com? No, I have not. Interesting. I'll look into that. Let's see. And okay, here we've got a Canvas question. I'll take that. Can I delete someone's submitted assignment on Canvas so they can submit a different version? The answer to that question is no, and it doesn't matter. You don't have to delete someone's submission on Canvas for them to be able to resubmit a homework assignment. They can resubmit a homework assignment as many times as they like, and you can't stop them, as a matter of fact. So you can't delete homework assignment submissions on Canvas like you could on Blackboard. It keeps them all, but the student can resubmit as often as they like. If it's a quiz that you're talking about, and you've set the quiz up to only have one attempt per student, you can go in and give a student another attempt. And we do have a tutorial on that. Was that part of the question? Carolee?
That was me, and it was just an assignment. So no, not
an assignment. Yeah, you can't delete it, but you don't have to. They can just keep submitting it.
Thank you.
What you can do is decide which submission you're going to grade.
Okay.
But you can't stop them from submitting more.
Okay.
Is there any way to prevent students from leaving the exam page once they start taking the exam? No. Unfortunately. Are there copyright issues with downloading YouTube if you cite the source? Interesting question. Well, first off, you can't, just using YouTube, download a YouTube video unless it's yours, unless you put it up there.
And if you put it up, if you created it and put it up there, you own the copyright. So in that event, no, there's no copyright issue. There are ways that YouTube fights, but they usually you lose the fight. There are ways to unceremoniously rip YouTube videos from YouTube and download it as a video file onto your computer. It requires using some slightly shady software or a slightly shady website, the visiting of which could end up with malware on your computer. So it's not something I would do lightly, but it is technically possible to steal somebody's video off YouTube. And I use that verb consciously. It is a violation of YouTube's terms of service to do so, and to make that copy and use it for anything, including educational use, would be a violation of copyright law. So it is a process that can be done, but it's fraught with dangers. And it is technically, at least, against copyright law to do so. You can always link to the video on YouTube and play it. You can embed it in a Canvas page and share it with your students, and you're fine, because it's still playing off YouTube. You're not making an unauthorized copy of it. It's playing off YouTube. And people put it on YouTube with the express and made it public with the express understanding that they were allowing anybody who wanted to view it. But that doesn't put the video itself in the public domain. That doesn't mean you can download it and use it for your own purposes. That's one thing I'm fairly confident about in copyright law, though I'm not a copyright lawyer by any means. So, yeah, there are copyright issues with doing that. And that's the bottom of the chat tool. My goodness. Well, I see we still have a few people there. 5 of you have made it all the way to the end. You may be numb by now, but you're still here. Do you have any more questions?
No. Thanks, Dave.
Oh, thank you for coming, Artist. It's great to see you again.
All right. See you later.
Take care.
See you again. Yeah, you too.
Anybody else have anything? Any questions? Hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and kill my screen share, save my chat, and
Dave, I have a last question.
Oh, good. And I'm waiting on Sam too. Sam, is that you?
Okay, well,
Go ahead, please.
Okay, so I remember you said that Proctoring wasn't available. What's the other Canvas equivalent that we can use?
There really is no equivalent. Well, there are other commercial proctoring applications, but Proctoring is the one that is included in the foundation pricing for the CCC Foundation. It's still viciously expensive, though I have heard since the last meeting we had where that came up, that that tool is available temporarily. We have not integrated it into our Canvas system, to my understanding. But I think they're giving it away for free for a limited time. But I don't know whether I'd really recommend getting started with it or not. I don't think there's any reasonable probability that the district is going to be able to pay for it moving forward. It's a very expensive tool. I will say that my colleague, former colleague, I guess, Katie Palacios over at Mesa, published a video several weeks ago as a proof of concept showing how you could use Zoom as a proctoring tool with students. It doesn't give you
you'd have to do it live. That is, you'd have to give the exam at a set time, and your students would all have to join your Zoom meeting and take the test while they were in Zoom. But given that case, given that scenario, you could proctor live, because multiple people can share their, if you allow it as the host, multiple people can share their screens at the same time. And you can just page from student to student to student and watch them, and require them to have their microphones open so they can't talk to one another. You can tell if they mute themselves. And you can so you can see them, or you can see their screen share, and you can keep an eye on things, and you could actually proctor pretty effectively with Zoom. And Katie did a little proof of concept video showing how to do that. And I have a link to it somewhere. I don't have it on me right now, but if you send me an email, I'll be happy to send that link to you if you're interested. But Proctorio, I don't know. And realize that Proctorio comes with quite a cost to the students as well. They have to have a webcam. They have to download and install the Proctorio client on their local computer. I think it works with mobile devices, but I'm not sure of that. If the student is taking the test on their phone, for instance, I don't know how well Proctorio works in that circumstance, but I believe it does. But it's viciously expensive. I don't know that the district is ever really going to be able to afford it or not. But that's way, I don't have a pay grade at the district anymore. I'm just a consultant, so I don't know how that might play out. Anybody else? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop.